All right, so before we get started with the Joppa stream summary, I do want to remind everyone I will be playing and streaming a lot of Monster Hunter Wilds this weekend and over the next week or two until I, finish that game or get bored of the game or whatever. That does not mean in any way that I'm stopping my Pantheon content. We will still be streaming and playing and having fun with Pantheon. I'm really still enjoying this game, and I do not see myself quitting anytime soon, so don't worry about that. But please come on over to the Twitch channel, say hello, and join me for some Monster Hunter Wilds when I'm playing that. As for the Joppa stream summary, it was about a 3-hour stream. The first part of the stream was EQ Guesser for the first 45 minutes or so. EQ Guesser, that is a web-based game that he plays with chat every Thursday. So if you want to play that game, just go in and enjoy it with him and chat and have some fun. After that, we got into the cleric stuff. So Joppa has finished the druid, which is coming in on March 5th, if you are not aware of that. He has finished the spells and stuff on the shaman, and now he is working on the cleric. Next up is going to be the tanks. But right now is the cleric stuff. Last stream, he talked about a new buff for the clerics that was going to be an increase of 10% to all stats on whoever received the buff. That has since been changed to now a flat rate. That flat rate is going to start at 1 and then go up to about 5 or 6 at the higher levels. That number obviously will be adjusted as needed, but that is the current rate. That might be coming in for the patch today. If the patch does in fact come in today, it might not come in until the next patch, whenever that may be. So just be prepared for that. The RIT line was the next thing that he talked about. So the RIT, I forget what it's called right now, but he changed the name of it, and it's whatever it is, the RIT of preparedness or something like that. Anyway, it increases readiness generation for anyone that uses readiness. So if you generate readiness with your abilities and then you spend readiness, this is going to be an amazing spell for you. Currently, the cleric readiness or RIT spell increases your RIT generation by 10 per action. He has bumped that up to 15 per action, and then the higher ranks of that will go up to about 35 per action, which is really, really good. He said that he will be adjusting this as needed again, but that is currently where that sits, and it's looking to be pretty good. The next up is Celestial Power usage. So if you don't know what Celestial Power is, if you don't play a cleric, basically it's like their focus or their personal ability spender, right? So every class has some sort of bonus thing other than your endurance and your mana. You have something else. The Celestial Power is the one for the cleric. It builds up by casting spells. Healing people and casting damage spells. That's how you build up the Celestial Power. And the discussion was for like the next 45 minutes or so, what can we do with Celestial Power for clerics? And the idea basically came down to Cloak of Light is not a great spell right now. It's the heal over time spell for clerics, and it doesn't really do a whole lot. It's very lackluster in a spell, according to what most people in chat were saying. So he was looking at ways to use Celestial Power to then do something with Celestial Light, or Cloak of Light. And what they boiled it down to is testing for the next little while about that. And effectively, you're going to build up your Celestial Power, spend it, and then do a burst heal with Cloak of Light, and then it's going to be possibly a heal over time that starts out at, let's say, 35 on the first tick, goes to 30 on the next tick, and it goes less each tick after that until it eventually fizzles out. That was just an idea that they came up with during the chat, but that is basically that entire section is what can we do with Celestial Power, how can we use it, what does Celestial Power do, etc. Right now, it doesn't do anything in the game, and this was just mostly a discussion on that. So if you are interested in that, it starts around the hour 8-minute mark. At hour 53 minutes, Joppa did kind of drop a bomb on everyone. XP is being nerfed across the board. So the current rate that people are gaining XP, he said, was a bit too high. He did say this XP nerf was going to be small. It's not going to be a big deal, but it obviously caused a lot of people to go, what? And freak out. So anyway, be prepared. This patch that's coming in today will probably nerf XP. I don't know if it's mentioned in the patch notes. The patch notes have already been released, but I didn't see anything about the XP nerf, but he did mention that last night that the XP will be nerfed a little bit because it was too much. Moving on from that, the next part is from 2 hour to 2 hour and 5 minute mark through pretty much the remainder of the stream was rules of engagement. So if you do not know, rules of engagement have been a point of contention with the community. There have been a lot of issues with that, kill stealing, camp checks. Is VR going to enforce that, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So there's a lot to unpack here. If you want to watch it, there's a lot of information and it goes on for a while. I'm going to try to give you the concise version of this. Basically, what Joppa has said is that there was some miscommunication on both sides from the community and Visionary Realms people, miscommunication on how to enforce that, if it's enforced, et cetera, et cetera. And there is going to be a new rules of engagement policy coming in. Joppa has written this himself, working with other people at Visionary Realms, and making sure that this is as clear and concise as he can possibly make it. But ultimately, it comes down to camps will be enforced. You can establish a camp. If you establish a camp, you do own that camp for the duration. And if somebody comes in and kill steals from you, then it will explain how to deal with that. It will go over things like if somebody steals a mob from you, if you're racing for a mob and two people arrive at the same time, it'll go over all of these different things. He said he went over several different types of scenarios. He didn't go into any detail on these, but he did say the rules of engagement will go over each of these individual situations. Also, with that is there may be, because some people were saying, hey, I don't like that. I don't want to be part of that. I want to have Wild West, etc. He said that they may just separate it and make a server that is 0 rules of engagement and then a server that has rules of engagement. And, you can pick and choose which one you want to go to. That is an idea for the future. Again, not a whole lot of detail here. He was just kind of informing the community. The last thing about that is first to engage and most damage done. Those are the two different ways that people have been talking about doing it. So first to engage is basically whoever tags it first gets the mob. And then the other one is most damage done. Whoever does the most damage wins the fight, which is the competitive nature of it. And some people like that. Right now, it's going to stay as most damage done. However, some people were pointing out that if you have an established camp, technically it's first to engage because you were there first. So there's still some debate back and forth. Again, we need to wait until we see what these rules are, how they're written. They are not posted yet. As soon as they are posted, I will probably make a video on those and go over it. Again, if you want to have more information on that, or you really want to go and read everything that everybody's saying, 2 hour, 5 minute mark on that. Lastly, the last thing that he kind of talked about that I want to bring up is the map. Somebody asked about maps. Are we going to get maps? There is currently a map program or map thing out there, web-based thing that is an add-on to the game. Joppa has said, don't use that. He doesn't like that. He doesn't want that to be part of the game. So be careful if you are using something like that. I'm not saying don't use it. I'm not saying do use it. I'm just saying be careful because apparently Joppa does not want people doing that. With that said, there will be an in-game map added in at some point. It'll be a topographical map, top-down look. It will not have a GPS on there, but I believe in the past he did say that you'll be able to put labels and do those kinds of things on there. So that is the only map that they want you to be using. Now, if you want to use a map on a different computer or different on your phone or on a tablet or whatever, if you want to have a map in the background, you can do that. But if it has anything to do with reading the GPS of your character and putting that onto the map, that is an add-on that should not be used. So that goes over everything from Joppa's stream. Hopefully that was clear and concise and get you all the information you wanted. Again, I'll be playing Monster Hunter Wilds today, so come on over, say hello, and let's have some fun. Take care. See you in the next one. Bye.